before we get into this, next Wednesday, we have Jay Opataya versus David Nyeka. Look on screen there. Who doesn't love watching Jay Opataya and his knockouts? He is going in there against the undefeated David Nyeka. It's Australia versus New Zealand. It's going to be epic. It's going to be shown live on DAZN. Link will be in the description where you can go and watch that. The G-Man link. Please give it a look. Anthony Joshua is making his comeback in 2025. We already know that Eddie Hearn said as much in an IFL interview. He said that Joshua is likely to fight twice this year. Now, I speculate that Joshua will probably not go into an immediate rematch with Daniel Dubois. Well, obviously Daniel Dubois has to get by Joseph Parker. That's no foregone conclusion. Dubois has already talked about Alexander Usyk and this, that, and the other. Let him do whatever he wants to do. But Joseph Parker is the guy in front of him. You need to make sure he gets through him. That's no foregone conclusion. The other fight then is obviously Tyson Fury. But Eddie Hearn has talked about Joshua having an interim fight. And to be honest with you, I was looking through I was looking at BoxRec rankings because they're not going to stick him in with a top 15 opponent you would imagine of any of the sanctioning bodies. And I'm looking through some of the opponents and I'm like, you want to have Joshua come back probably in a fight that has, that will get the public, interested. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, Jesus, there is very few people that I would have the confidence to put Anthony Joshua in with. You're looking at Dylan White, Luis Ortiz, those kind of types of fighters who they could probably get a decent, viewing figures. And, it's significantly low risk that you would feel comfy putting Joshua in there. But I was looking at people like F.A. Ajagba and I was thinking he's very limited, but he can punch. I know he's fighting Martin Bacoli apparently, but he can punch like an absolute freight train. And I'm looking at that thinking that's risky now. Where Ajagba's always been limited, I always would have favoured Joshua, but I just don't know what he's going to be like moving forward. Now, I stumbled across this article on Boxing Scene, and it says the following. Joshua admits time is of the essence as he targets Tyson Fury in 2025. This is basically, Anthony Joshua has been in Nigeria. He met with the president and people like that, and there's some really good videos actually online, Joshua getting the hero's welcome and stuff like that in Nigeria. It says here, speaking in Nigeria where he visited the president, Joshua said of a potential fight with Tyson Fury, "We'll see. Let's get in the ring. Only God knows, but for me, we'll see in the future." Far more revealing was what Joshua said when speaking with the House of Correspondents about the importance of making the right moves in 2025 and reclaiming all he lost in 2024. Time is of the essence. Time is limited. Very, very true. Joshua is not getting any younger, as is Tyson Fury, Usyk, Joshua. Literally, this is probably it for them, right? They're the old guard now at this point. So he's very right. Time is not of the essence. He's 35, 36, so 100%. Time is of the essence. Time is limited. So I want to put in more work. In 2024, when I look back, I believe I could have done more. And I have another chance in 2025 to do more. I'm going to make sure that I take every opportunity that comes my way, and I'm going to go again. Ups and downs, they happen. Some people, it's always up. My life is up and down, so I have to get used to the turbulent times and keep riding the wave. I can't stop now. I have to keep going until I reach my destination. The beauty of being on top, of course, is that there's always a false sense of control over both opponents and fate. And it is your own schedule, other people work, and to your beat, other people dance. It ends with just Boxing Scene just basically saying, suffer one defeat, he goes to 28-4, and this, that, and the other. They're just talking about a lot of stuff there. So yeah, Joshua basically saying that he can't stop. I have to keep going until I reach my destination. Well, what destination is that? If it's 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, listen, if Alexander Usyk retires and, 3 of those belts become fragmented, obviously Daniel Dubois has the IBF, the WBO, the WBC, the WBA. Yeah, look, you could potentially, I wouldn't like to see him go in and get an immediate crack. You'd probably have to win a fight, but there's potential there. But when I look at the heavyweight division and I look at some of the guys there who could potentially fight for vacant titles, Martin Bacoli with the WBA, potentially someone like Moses Atama with the WBO, WBC, God only knows. I mean, you wouldn't know what they do, but still, when you look at the heavyweight rankings, and you see Joshua in that Dubois fight take the beating that he took, you look and you just think, I don't really see how he beats some of these guys. I wouldn't pick him against Martin Bakole. I think Bakole would be, I think that fight right there would be the really, really bad for Anthony Joshua. A Telma, it's that hand speed of a Telma that would give Joshua so many problems, and that straight left, which has a lot of power in it. I don't know. I mean, Joshua's experience, very experienced, but a Telma, I mean, you're talking about a 15, 16-year age gap. Oh, that could be, at this point in Joshua's career, could be tough. Joshua is saying that he made mistakes in 2024. Mistake was going in with Daniel Dubois and making tactical mistakes. I don't think there was mistakes made in the sense of, matchmaking wise. I mean, you made pretty much, and when I say matchmaking, I mean literally he made as much money as he could have made without fighting the likes of a Usyk or a Fury. He made an absolute king's ransom fighting Francis Ngannou, an easy fight that he was always going to win, and he won it spectacularly. And then he goes in with Dubois. Yeah, stylistically probably not the best fight for him, but he made so many defensive mistakes in there, it's crazy. And he got starched, but he got well paid for both of those fights. Joshua is too long in the tooth now to be able to really rehabilitate him. I think that what he's talking about here, saying he doesn't want to stop until he reaches his destination, well, mate, you may never reach it. That ship may have long since sailed at the end of the day. If that's where your destination is, to become a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world, you better hope that there's a really, really, really soft touch that gets in there. And I don't think there will be, because I think I look at the rankings and I look at guys coming up, and I think it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get harder, because these are young and they're hungry, and there's a lot of talent on display in the heavyweight division. The likes of, as I said, even like Ajay Kabayel, Bakole, people like that, Telma, Bakadir Jalilov, etc. There's a lot of talent, a lot of young, hungry fighters there. And I think Joshua, a lot like Tyson Fury, their skills are not what they used to be. And man, I just don't see that. I think with Joshua, at this point now, the only destination really is a Tyson Fury fight. I wouldn't be picking Joshua to win that fight, to be honest with you. I would make Fury favourite. I think that Fury still has enough left in the tank to cut it at world level, truth be told. I think he does. I think with Joshua, when's the last time we seen Joshua at world level other than Daniel Dubois? He in 2023, he fought Jermaine Franklin, who is a decent fighter, but he's not really going to trouble the guys at world level. Helenius certainly isn't. And Otto Wallin, the only real time he stepped up to world level was against Tyson Fury. He gave a good account of himself, but he lost. Joshua knew him, inside and out, and he dealt with him, as you would expect. But then he steps up and fights Daniel Dubois, who is a world level heavyweight. He gets absolutely annihilated. Prior to that, he stepped up to world level. He fought Alexander Usyk twice, and he got schooled both times. So with Anthony Joshua, it's not going to get any better. He's getting older. Reading that, I think I can't stop now. I have to keep going until I reach my destination. I don't really like reading that, to be honest with you. I think Joshua, personally, if I was advising him, I'd be saying, look, call it a day. This is a fighter who doesn't need the money. It's not about money. He's seeking that glory. And, you can commend him for that. But at what cost, man? And if you don't get it, again, what cost, If Joshua goes in there and he goes in and tries to put himself in a position to challenge for a title or this, that, and the other, I think someone like Bakole would absolutely starch him. I genuinely think that. I think that fight will be over in a couple of rounds, him against Bakole. I really do. I think Bakole would absolutely beat the living crap out of Anthony Joshua and stop him devastatingly at this point. I don't see how he wins that fight. I really don't. And you talk about, well, not necessarily talk about going to the likes with them, but if you want to become a 3-time champion, it's likely the road is going to have to go through them or Dubois again, and that's going to be even easier this time, I think, with Dubois. I think that if Joshua, I don't know, he said he needs to change things. Well, I'd be getting rid of Ben Davison for one. If you're planning on fighting Tyson Fury, that is. I'd be getting rid of him for one. Bringing back Derek James. At least with Derek James, you're a bit more defensively sound. You're a bit more correct. Anthony Joshua with Derek James, without looking spectacular, in a sense of offensively, he didn't look spectacular. He looked a lot better offensively with Ben Davison. But you look at the jab and the footwork, he was doing a lot better. He was looking a lot better. he wasn't letting his punches go, but I mean, he was looking, certainly technically wise, he was looking a lot better, and I think he made a mistake leaving Derek James. I mean, I think if he'd had Derek James in the corner against Daniel Dubois, I don't think he would have won, but I think he probably wouldn't have been bounced off the canvas as many times as he was. He might have lasted a little bit longer, he might have had a little bit more success. Ultimately, I think that style would have come good for Dubois anyway, but I think he would have had a little bit more to give, but hey, we'll never know. Ifs and buts. That is what Anthony Joshua says. In 2024, when I look back, I could have done more. I have another chance to do it in 2025. I'm going to make sure I take every opportunity that comes my way. I'm going to go again. Rightly or wrongly, do you think that's a good idea? And listen, I've said it. I think the only fight, and Eddie Hearn has kind of been saying it as well, Tyson Fury, Joshua, it's the biggest payday. Yeah, it's not got a world title. Yeah, it's not going to have the same appeal, but it'll still make them an absolute king's ransom. So that's what Anthony Joshua was saying there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. And until next time, people,